kind of a run at, they tried to make a kind of a run at the, to compete with the Brownings out of New Hampshire. But they weren't successful because they weren't near the rig, I don't think, Perry. Or at least that's my take on it. I'm not familiar with the Old Tube Radio Network. I'll have to check that one out. Said that was on YouTube. And, okay, on the double balance tuner there that you've been working on. Boy, that looks great, Perry. I can't wait to hear you using it and hear how you're, you know, I've been watching your pictures on your build on that. Looks like you're doing a great job. And I know exactly who you're talking about over in New Jersey. My gosh, you want to talk about a brilliant guy. Right there it is. But he's made a good business, and he is off the charts when it comes to anything to do with radio and radio technology, whether it be antennas, anything, A to Z. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I don't know what's happened to him. I guess he's still out there doing stuff, but I hadn't seen his name on anything in a long time. But one of the most amazing things I've seen is he took the perimeter, what goes on an above ground pool, the metal band that goes on these pools, and he somehow fixed it and turned it into a loop. And then he put it up on about a 200-foot tower with 600 ohm open wire feeders that he made, and the ladder line he made just looked unreal. And then he fed it and used it as an antenna up there at about 200 feet in the air. One of the most incredible things I've ever seen. Anyway, BJ, let me send it back down to you in McClenny, Florida, and you're going to send it up to N9KGR, WB4YIB with the group KK4GZQ. John, send it to John. Can you get it? I think you might have good morning, guys. Yeah, okay, BJ.
N9KGR from W3MMR. Real good, Bruce. I don't have the best copy on you this morning, Bruce, but I do hear you in there. Nevertheless, I just over here checking out a QRZ page. That cracks me up. Anyway, yeah, so not too much going on. 32 degrees on the nose here, southeast Pennsylvania this morning. Boy, we've gotten some rain the past few days, past couple weeks. I mean, it's just been lots and lots and lots of rain. And I'm looking forward to it stopping, you know, because my driveway is dirt, and I mean, it's just turned into a mud fest. One big mud pit, so I've been having to park out in the street, and I don't like parking in the street for obvious reasons, you know, and plus when I park in my driveway, I got my security cameras pointed right at my truck, and you know, it just makes me feel like a lot more comfortable when I'm parked in the driveway as opposed to in the street, even though I usually park right in front of my house. When I park in the street, it's not like I have to, you know, park way down the road or anything, but I just much rather park in the driveway. So, anyway, good morning to you, BJ, WB4YIB. Decent copy up here this morning. I might flick on WebSTR if we're going to stick in here for a little while, so I can copy you guys a little better. I've been trying to not use WebSTR and go back to more, you know, traditional operating and receiving. Here I've been battling a new interference living here in the city for years, and it's been slowly but surely getting better and better and better. And now I have in this Anon software has a diversity reception, which is very similar to those MFJ noise canceling boxes, those phasing boxes, but it has it built right into the software here. And it took me a while to get it all up and working right in the software here, and just try to find, you know, the noise source and make sure that noise source is stronger on the sense antenna than it is, or as strong or stronger on the sense antenna than it is on my 80 meter doublet, and so I can actually phase the noise out. And then I was having issues with when keying up, it would overload the receiver and the radio, the front end of the radio, and I would get these overload messages when I would key up. So I had to set up an opto coupler, where it's basically a relay, so it opens the antenna, the sense antenna, when I key up. And that wasn't working, and I had to turn the attenuation up inside the setup menu here to give me some more attenuation, even though the antenna was disconnected when I keyed up. So I finally got it all working, and it's really been helping out as far as receive goes. So I've been trying to stay away from the web SDRs, but maybe we'll turn it on this morning here to help out a little bit with you guys. But like I said, pretty decent copies on you. Just make it easier on my end, and it's not your guys' fault. It's like I said, it's mine. I have a noise floor of S9 to a little over, 5 over S9 here every day. So it's definitely on my end, not on your guys' end. You guys are doing just fine. So over to you, Kevin. KK4GZQ, and I hope you like that picture I sent you. W3MMR.
Yeah, good morning. Alpha Juliet 1 Golf.
Hey, Perry, yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's exactly the one that I was thinking about. Good morning, Chris. I got you. Hey, Chris, there's another braking station that got in there before you did. When I handed it over to BJ, he broke in with a big signal. Would the other braking station, would you please come again over? Hey, KK4GZQ in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Good morning. Gosh, I can't remember your name right offhand, and I apologize for that. I'll send it to Chris, AJ1G, And then Chris can pick up K4GZQ. And ZYP, if you'll send it to WB4YIB, BJ there in McClenny. And I guess Bruce is checking out, so BJ, you'll send it back to Perry, W3MMR. So, and Perry, gosh darn, yeah, that antenna, when you sent me that picture, that is exactly the one that I was thinking about. And I've forgotten his call sign, so I can't really look it up on QRZ anymore, but I've told people about that picture of that 160 80-meter mag loop. I sat here and just studied that picture while you guys were making your transmissions. That is just an unbelievable, I just can't believe somebody came up with that. And I see how he's feeding it there with the, looks like maybe, I don't know if that's hard line he's feeding it with, and I know he has open wire feeders going to it, but a couple of things on the side of that big band that he's mounted up there, and the strut system that he's got to hold it in place, that is just, where in the world, is he from this planet or what? Anyway, that's all I've got, Chris, on this round. Bruce, it's great to hear you in here this morning. I heard you say you're going to get started on that Nikon 756, so nice to hear you in. I won't keep it long. And good to hear you in here this morning, and big signal coming off the lake. Over to you, Chris, and if you would, pick up K4GZQ and then down to WB4YIB. AJ1G to take it, KK4GZQ in the group.
Okay, good morning, Kevin. KK4GZQ in the group. AJ1G, Chris in Stonington, Connecticut. Okay, guys, good morning. Perry and Kevin, great signals. Yeah, I've been up, I was up at about around 3-ish. I worked the Brits over there down on 3799.5, about 8 of them. Very good conditions this morning, long haul. My antenna SWR is back to normal. We got all iced up here yesterday. I would say between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch of ice on everything, and has worst icing we've had in a long time, but at least we didn't lose power. And we did have, it was not without a little bit of consternation here, though. I looked out towards the west end of our property, and we have a row of their Himalayan birch trees, a whole row of them, about 10 feet from the property line. And on the other side, there's a fence, a stockade-type fence, and then my neighbor has a huge stand of bamboo. You know, I always thought bamboo was a tropical plant, but it's hardy up here. And he has a really tall, like, you know, we used to call it the Ho Chi Minh Trail. A lot of it used to had encroached into our property. We had it all cleared out, and we put aluminum. It was aluminum. Sheet aluminum down to guard the roots from coming over from his property. They propagate underground on roots, and but anyhow, they're really nice and tall, and they provide a lot of privacy break and all. But they got so hot, top loaded with ice, a whole bunch of them bent over, are all tangled up into the birches. So I called him up. He was working. He's retired, but he works electrical at Home Depot. Called him over there at the Home Depot. Said, hey, Bill, got a problem here. And I described it, and I said, I want to give those bamboos a haircut. And he said, yeah, hack away. So I did. And the happy result is I got a whole bunch of poles I could probably use for antenna projects now, up to like 20 feet long. Or I can make some big cane fishing poles out of them, I don't know, but they're beautiful. Every once in a while he harvests it as well. So we'll have some fun with them. And the birches, it turned out that a lot of them I couldn't cut them down because cutting them down would have put more weight in the birch than it already was taking. So what I ended up doing was taking one of the bamboo shoots, so to speak, that I had cut down and jammed it up into the other ones that were hanging and mechanically agitated, because at that point the ice was starting to break up. and I was able to, make a rainforest of ice particles, and shook them loose, and they started clearing off the birches. And then this morning we had a lot of rain afterwards, and now they're all back to normal and no damage on either side, it looks like. But I have about 8 nice bamboo poles. Maybe I can make a 20-meter cubicle quad with them or something. So, yeah, and for the other guys on frequency, this is Chris, AJ1G, Stonington, Connecticut, and I'm running about 100 watts of carrier here with an ART, not the ART13, a Central Electronics 20A, and a multi-phase exciter from 1955, and a 1956 Central Electronics 600L amplifier, single grid-driven 813, about 100 watts to an inverted V, and receiving on an RTL SDR here in the shack, and using some assist from the WB4YIB SDR, especially on the stations out in the Midwest. They're not coming in real strong yet here locally. So goes down to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, a K8 station, and I don't have the whole call. And Kevin, please correct me if I'm wrong on the turnaround here. By the way, Perry, I hope the audio and company, and Perry, you're probably recording. I hope the audio sounds better than yesterday. I had a problem with, I think it was a bad solder joint or some leakage, like a little fine hair of wire in the element of the D104 here shorting out, and the thing got really, really tinny and nasally and very low output, but I think I've got it fixed now. So a K8 station, a K8UID or something like that, down in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, AJ1G, Stonington, Connecticut.
AJ1G in the group, and this is Kilo 8 Bravo Yankee Papa. K8BYP, name saved, Delta Alpha Victor Echo, Florida 619. Monitor my first on the I was calling you a bit earlier, but I was putting you in the dark. Which is on a 100-meter vertical, therefore the 6.N9KGR and that 4.5 is on 7.3 high line. So, morning 7, you have the usual 60 overflow. Have to get the estimator. You don't fly around side to side and do the testing. And, yes, I think that's the first simple rig I've heard on the air, and it's not just that. I've a few times to do it again with the Central Electronics Confab here in Tennessee. I think that was a year and a half ago. I have to go to that particular break. But that Confab rig does sound good. Everyone, at least 20 over, says a lot of places saving. And using voice systems that does that too. Other than that, signal levels are real good. So, that down to 30 and down there. Then I have to take them off there. To get up wide awake at 4 a.m. Couple up here. And down the old box at 2. So, I'll go back down the line and you can hear this 4YIB.
She sure did, BJ. Your turn to burn.
I was trying to get the big stop.
Okay, BJ, and passing it right back up to Perry. Go ahead, Perry.
Yeah, sorry, I'm over here scanning the interwebs, not paying attention. Sorry about that. Good morning, Chris. Boy, Chris, you're strong this morning, buddy. We got good conditions between us here this morning. You are very strong. The strongest I've heard you in quite some time. So I got a good, I can get a good clip of your audio. And it sounds good this morning, Chris. Trying to remember what it sounded like yesterday. It sounds more full-bodied now than it did yesterday. Yesterday just seemed a little, I don't know, a little hollow-ish. I don't know. It sounds good. I don't want to make, too many comparisons, like I said, because I don't really trying to remember. I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, 15 minutes ago, let alone what happened yesterday. But I'm sure I have a recording of it. I think I posted a recording yesterday on YouTube there, Chris. But nevertheless, sounds really good, bud. And again, yes, I am making a recording this morning, so you'll be able to hear it once I post it up there in a few, after we're done here, and after it comes up there in a few hours. So you'll be able to hear it. You'll be proud of it. And definitely, you don't hear too many people on this Central Electronics 20A, let alone one that sounds as good as yours. You've done a lot of work to it, and so 2 thumbs up, buddy. And real good on the DX there this morning. You're a DX machine, Chris. You're always DXing, man. It's great. It's great to see. Maybe I should. I don't know. I used to DX a lot more than I have been. I go through phases, I do a lot of AM operating, then I'll do a lot of DXing, and I'll get up super early and work the VKs on 40, and I'll work on my days off. I'll work 20 meters over to Europe during the mid morning into the early afternoon, and so on and so forth. But I've been the DXing I have been doing has been some digital modes, which I know a lot of people wag their finger at, FT8 and such, but it's fun, man. I've worked a lot of stations on the digital modes there. On 160 and here on 80 I've been messing around with it because I'm just a general, so I can't get below 3800, so there's really not too much DX above 3800 to work on phones, so I just go down on FT8 here on 80 meters and get my DXing in that way. But it's fun. It's all fun. Lots of different things to do in this hobby. And I programmed one of my HTs last night. One of the local 440 repeaters was back online. N9KGR they took it off the air here locally for a while because of some riffraff, and the repeater owners were sick of it, so they shut it down for about a year. And came online. They put it back online a few days ago, so I was getting the frequencies programmed back in my HT, my N9TBE, so I was working the repeaters last night, talking to the old man and a friend of mine, N9KGR down in Cape May, New Jersey. We were talking on there last night on 440, so that was fun. And just a great hobby. It's just I've really turned it into my life. It keeps me out of trouble, and I've really made some really great friends. And case in point, you guys here in the mornings. So, keep it moving along here. Over to you, Kevin. And Kevin, you're holding on in very, very well here, buddy. Still about 25 over S9. KK4GZQ in the morning AM crew here from W3MMR.
Was that Tokyo Baker Michael TBM? Did I get that right? Over.
Yeah, good morning, Kevin. Tango Baker Echo TBE. Jamie up here in cheese country, the cheesehead lane. Are you hearing me okay, Kevin? Go ahead.
Yeah, sure am, Jamie. Yes, sir. Go right ahead and make a transmission. I'll pick it up after you. KK4GZQ.
Oh, okay. Very good. Nice to hear the group in here this morning. I'm not hearing ZYP or YIB, BJ very well. But very exciting here this morning.
And Kevin, you're always booming in here. Always booming in here.
So, again, the name is Jamie. Juliet Elsa, Mexico. And I've been doing a little work here on the station, trying to stabilize things a little bit. Looks like I'm pretty frequency here. We'll see how things go as time goes on. But I'm running an old Night Kit B60 transmitter with the VF1 VFO. Listening on a Kenwood R599 receiver, and I'm also driving a homebrew pair of V13s I don't know, I had the radio on here, and you guys woke me up this morning, and it's early for me, but I'm feeling pretty good, so I figured I'd jump in and say hello to the group this morning. And AJ1G, you're doing, Chris, you're doing a really good job here in Wisconsin. Okay, well, over to KK4GZQ, N9TBE in the AM group.
Hey, Jamie. Very good. N9 Tango Victor Echo TBE from KK4GZQ near Lexington, Kentucky, Jamie. And that call sounds really familiar. I think we've worked. And boy, good to hear you on this morning. And the DX60 with the VF1, Kenwood R599, and 813 amp. You know, Chris mentioned, AJ1G mentioned that I think he's running, is it a single 813, Chris, or a pair? And and the same question goes to you as well, Jamie. I'm just curious to know how you guys, I've got an 813 amp is the reason I ask, and it never gets any runtime. It needs to be drug in here and ran. It's been mounted in a big tall cabinet. It's nearly 5 feet tall, and the RF deck and the supply are not even enough to fill up the whole cabinet. It was just such a good, that cabinet was just such a nice one, and I thought, well, maybe one day I'll pull a deck and the supply out of it and just run them as a tabletop version, because the deck, when it comes out, it's already in its own case. And the supply would just need a cage built around it, but the cabinet itself, maybe I might turn it into a transmitter or an amp or something like that one of these days. It's really nice. So I went ahead and invested in that, and I've got that amp back there. It's wired 110, 120. Got a pair of 813s and grounded grid, and it's a homebrew that came somewhere out of Illinois originally. And Chris, you sound great on the Central Electronics 20A. And Dave, TR3 sounds great as well here this morning with the... and I heard you say that you were stumbling around there in the dark. I thought I've heard a braking station in there, and I guess that was you. And you didn't have your amp on or something like that. But boy, you gave me a great signal report. 60 over. Jeez, oh Pete. Anyway, good band conditions this morning. Best sent me 3 to BJ. He said he was just going to get back off on the side here and listen for a little while. And BJ, you were holding a decent signal, but the band conditions between here and McClenny weren't, optimal. Perry mentioned 20-meter antenna, 20 meters, and working sideband to Europe. And, Perry, when they started the 20-meter AM group here, 6-8 months ago, whatever, I managed to get a, just a dipole inverted V up for 20 meters, and I wasn't able to do very good at all with the 20-meter AM, but the antenna is oriented, you know, in such a direction for Europe that I'm able to work sideband into Europe no problem at all. And I've left it up just to be able to enjoy that from time to time. So with that, Dave, let me send it back down to Oak Ridge, and I think since BJ jumped out, you'll just send it back over to. I want to make sure I don't forget. I think it goes back to AJ1G Chris, and then over to Perry. If I've screwed up the rotation, I'm sorry, guys. Again, 7-3 to N9KGR. K8ZYP to take it. KK4GZQ the group.
So that doesn't have 10 minutes. Let's see what the on meter shows. It's about 125 watts. Seems like that's a little bit low. But I guess that's what it is. It's sticking. We'll start just sticking down the hill traffic. We'll 203 on block. I don't have that one amplifier. It's only work on building a single 3-400 cable pipe. And we're going to do the PC and that big 3 kV at 1 amp power supply. We're still about 150 hours. So we'll go for the power supply well, and so have a one amplifier in the way. And that's kind of sort of trying out this oil fuel. Don't know if it's in the front. We'll be on the way. Have to go to the up pocket earlier this year. You have to get the extra amplifier. There's also a time level. Everything on that panel. And it's just cooling. So I'm looking at what I can do. Vegetable oil. And a little bit of recall. And even the utility industry has gone towards using vegetable based oil. Mineral oil, so that they have a transformer stuff. So it's extremely high template properties. Probably stuff on the property.
Yeah, okay, Dave. I think it really goes I think it's even down to view, but we'll just keep it this way. But Perry, why don't you go ahead and turn it to me? Go ahead, Perry.
And I had a quick add to Perry before he takes it. Perry, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
On that 160 meter, 80 meter loop, you see the way he's got that strung up there? I wonder how the way he's got that, how in the world does it stay off of the tower? Those have got to be cables, and you know, I just don't know how the wind or whatever would keep that unless it just blows so far each way.
You know, Kevin, I was thinking the same thing, because looking at it, it looks like that thing would dance around. You know, it looks like it would dance around everywhere, unless there's, I don't know, some kind of guy wires holding it from the bottom down to the ground. I don't know.
Just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so I got it, and then I turn it to Chris, right?
Okay, you're back to Chris.
All right, sorry. I'm all messed up here. I usually am pretty good here with the rotation, but not this morning. Good morning, Jamie. N9TBE. W3MMR. Name here is Perry. Papa Echo Romeo Yankee, and located in southeast Pennsylvania, 7 miles southwest of the big city of Philadelphia. Running in a non-200D this morning. I got the DX100 fired up on the other side of the room, so probably hop over to that here in a little bit. But after this transmission, I'm going to run down to the Wawa. Kevin, I'm going to Wawa. I'll make sure they say hi to the people there for you, like I do every time I go now, and grab a little quick bite to eat. But I'll be back in about 15 minutes or so. It's only right down the street. But the T60, the night kit, Jamie, sounded good this morning. Pretty decent copy coming out of the land of the cheese out there in Wisconsin. I'm sure it's probably pretty cold out there this morning. And I know the temperatures are really going to start to drop here in the next few days, I believe. I believe what our highs on, our highs Thursday here are going to be, I think, going up to 28 on Thursday, 35 on Friday, 34 on Saturday. So yeah, it's getting a little chilly. And it's going to get windy tonight. It looks like gusts, 35 to 40 mile an hour gusts this evening. So the cold front's moving in, and I know it's if it's cold here, it's going to be really cold out there. So stay warm, Jamie. And Chris, the audio sounds good. I don't know, I'd mentioned that. I think we might have skipped over you last go round. So let me turn it over to you quickly here. And if the next time it comes back to me, I'll let you guys know when I'm back. But if you don't hear me say I'm back, I'm not back. And I'll let you guys know when I get back. But off to Wawa I go, and we'll be back in a few minutes. AJ1G in the group from W3MMR.
Okay, Perry, W3MMR.
We got you, Gary.
Do a little tweaking. W3MMR, AJ1G. Okay, very good, Perry. And thanks for the report. Yeah, I listened to yesterday's YouTube video, and boy, did I sound yellowy. Very, very thin. There's something going on in the head of this V104, and I took it apart. I resoldered the joints on the element and put it back 3 times. And every time I put it back, the thing was acting weird. And I give it a whack, mechanically agitated, which is, by the way, an official Navy technical manual term. I've seen that term in Navy tech manuals. In case you have a valve that's got a stuck seat, you're supposed to mechanically agitate. It's left to your imagination as how you're supposed to do that, but basically a whack or something. Anyhow, I mechanically agitated the D104 and it came in. It definitely doesn't have the bass and the the cardioid dynamics. In fact, I can do a quick check here, and since we're being recorded, it'll be a good time. Yeah, I also adjusted the EQ. I'm going into the Behringer again rather than straight in, so I can do something with the EQ on this. And right now I've got it. I rolled back some of the mid range to balance the bass, and that's what little bass I can get out of this thing. So it's hopefully a little fuller sounding than it was. But just for comparison, I'm going to switch over here in about 1 second to the dynamic. Stand by. And here I am on the dynamic. It sounds a little smoother and a little less peaky, a little more balanced. But we'll see how the tail of the tape comes out. And yeah, go get a cookies and cream for me. That sounds good. Cookies and cream milk. I don't know if they have that here in the local. We have like Cumberland Farms. That's about the closest. Oh, that's more of a, I don't know. Are they a convenience store or are they a grocery? A full-blown grocery. I think there may be more than just a convenience store. We have Cumberland Farms, which has all sorts of fast food. We've got the hot dogs and the little rolls on a rotating grill. They've got nachos. They've got all sorts of grinders and hot sandwiches and pizza and things like that. And gas. All the gas has been like, it used to be the best gas in town, but something's going on in our area here. The premium, which I like to run in the Volvo, is much higher than the regular. The regular is a little bit higher than the rest of the area, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Way on the back on the premium. I don't know why it's $20. But what I've been doing is when I go to my son Dave's up in Hartford, I'll get gas up in Colchester, about halfway to Hartford, and it's less than $3 up there, and it's like a 40-cent differential between the premium and the regular. But anyhow, we'll get dark at that. But anyhow, Cumberland Farms is our go-to place for coffees and stuff. The coffees are always a buck. They give it away at free on Thanksgiving and Christmas and some other holidays. So that's always fun. We used to do free coffee Fridays the last 2 years. They didn't do that this year during October. It's a great place. Everyone hangs out there. CBers all hang out there. I come in with my big mobile setup. It freaks them out. And what the hell is that? Make a lot of, introduce a lot of people on the radio that way. Jamie, your pair of 813s, and that should answer Kevin's question. He's running a pair of 813s. I don't know if he's using the grounding grid. I was doing grounding grid. N9TBE, hello Wisconsin. Doing well here with that setup there. I think you're barefoot on the TR3. You're not super strong, but that's happening fairly well. There's another station which I couldn't get. I'm missing some other station, I don't know. But we'll see here. And I think it goes back to Kevin. I'm not sure here. I got the rotation. No, I send it to Dave. That's right. Send it to Dave. I think. We're getting all messed up on the rotation. I heard me playing Wrecking Ball yesterday and Terry going, oh my God. So I did mess up. I apologize for that. We got it straightened out eventually. That was pretty funny. Anyhow, back to Dave. KK4GZQ in the group in Oak Ridge, Tennessee out there. AJ1G, Chris, and Stony Things.
Chris turned it to. Chris, did you turn it to me, or who'd you send it to? Over.
I thought I sent it to KK4GZQ, but I'm not sure if that was right.
Okay, I'll help you out, Chris. Dave, he sent it down to you. K8ZYP, KK4GZQ in the group. get you, Gary. Stand by. Great to hear you in here this morning, Dave. Good to work you. TR3 working well, and I hope to hear you back real soon. If not, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year coming up. Hopefully we'll catch you between now and then. WD4NKA Gary down in Deltona, Florida. Why don't you pick it up and send it up to Jamie? November 9 Tango Victor Echo N9TBE, and I'm probably going to have to help you out on that one, Gary. Over. Okay, I thought maybe I might have to help you out there, Gary. That's a pretty long jump back up there to Green Bay from down near Daytona. Jamie, pick it up there in Cheese Country, N9TBE with the group KK4GZQ. Okay, very good, Jamie, and maybe another braking station there. And we'll let make sure I'm going to send it back up to Perry. I believe that's the way the rotation is now with those who have signed. And Jamie, great to hear you in here this morning, buddy. And I did get your call right this time. N9 Tango Bravo Echo, which is 2 brown eggs. I like that. That's easy enough. And okay on the pair of 813s. Well, you know, my friend Charlie, or our friend Charlie, K4GZQ down in Atlanta, he's still to this day loves the 813 tube, and I've heard a lot of people talk about them, and he claims that, you know, you're bang for your buck on power output, and what a good strong and reliable tube is that 813. And I went ahead and picked up, I found 3 or 4 spares, I can't remember which, at the Dayton Xenia Hamvention this past year, and I've got some spares for mine. I need to get that thing out and use it a little bit, but I tell you, it's just hard to keep it all in rotation, if you will, Jamie. Nice to hear you this morning. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, and I hope to catch you back before then, but if not, then best wishes to you and the family. So with that, let me, I think that's all I have here. Chris, you got a little right in the noise line on that last one. I think you were trying to tell me about your 813 amp as well, Chris, AJ1G. But we'll see what happens on this next round. But that the Central Electronics 20A has some really nice audio. When I was getting you in here at about 10 and 15 over dB over S9, that Central Electronics rig is really sounding good. So with that, I don't want to keep it here long. We'll send it back up to W3MMR to go ahead and take it, Perry. And if he's not there, we'll send it back over to AJ1G Chris. And I believe that's got everybody handled here pretty well. 73 again to Dave down in Oak Ridge, and good morning again to Gary, WD4NKA, Deltona, Florida. W3MMR to pick it up, KK4GZQ at the group. Might not be back from Wawa yet. Okay, yeah, I think he said he made a run. Chris, you mind if I pick up this braking station really quick there, over?
No, go right ahead.
Okay, there he is, N4UXY. Uniform X-ray Yankee is what I've got. This is KK4GZQ, Kevin. I'm located near Lexington, Kentucky. Good morning to you, and take it away. I believe you run sideband. I think I found you on the lower side. We're on AM here. Is there any way that you can get on AM with us, over? That happens all the time. Hey, what's the handle down there, old man? Over. One more time with the name. The band took a little fade. Sorry on my end. Okay, Danny. Very good. In Alabama, I got your QTH. And you got her here on AM sounding good. And Danny, next time you get it there on the round here, just send it up to AJ1G, Chris there in Stonington, Connecticut. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it up to him. So great to hear you checking in from Alabama this morning. N4UXY with group AJ1G to take it, KK4GZQ. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, okay. What is UXY's name down there on the mobile?
Chris, I believe it goes down to WD4NKA, Gary, down in Deltona Beach, Florida, or Deltona, Florida, rather. Gary, I'm trying to...
Okay, that's not what I was asking. I was asking the name, but I'll do that. I'll turn it over to NKA. Yeah, what is the UXY's handle down there? What is his name? What's his personal?
Danny, Delta Alpha, November Yankee, over.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, he was, I didn't realize, he sounded like he called in on AM and then shifted to sideband, and I didn't even realize that was him. And then he was back on AM the week. Good morning to you, Danny, from up here in the semi-frozen north of Connecticut. We're right at 32. Most of the ice is melted, but not all of it. But the good news is the antenna SWR is back to normal. That icing shifted my resonant point of the dipole here from right around, even here on 3885, to move the resonant point all the way down to about 3600. I was 3-to-1 here, and got progressively better as I went lower in frequency, which is usually the case. And then I got some pictures of everything. I shot a lot of pictures of what the ice was doing to the yard. Some of them are very pretty, actually. But the mobile, boy, you should have seen the ice on the mobile mounting bracket and the little matching box and everything else, and the lead coming up from the coax under the tailgate. That was probably about a in diameter. It was like a 1/4 inch. Well, I didn't even attempt to open a car door. I didn't even know if I could. I mean, I got frozen out of one of our older cars last year for about 2 days. The water got into the latch and would not budge. Anyhow, Kevin, yeah, everyone's got great signals. I guess Perry, I'll turn it over to him if he's back, and then it will go, I guess, to down to Deltona, Florida. And yeah, my amplifier, Jamie's amplifier is a pair of 813s and grounded grid, and apparently he's got a picture of it on his QRZ page. This is the Central Electronics 20A is a single grid-driven 813. Was designed to work with the 20-watt output of the 20A. 600L stands for 600 watts PEP input, and it does about, you can get 500 watts CW on it, 600 watts PEP, this is all input, 600 watts PEP sideband, and they recommend not more than 200 watts input on IM. That's where I run it. That's where it gives you the best modulation waveform. The ART13 has a little faint blush on it, but at that point, but not bad at all. It's pretty rugged, and gives me about 100 watts to the antenna. It's about 50% efficient, I would guess. Barely draws any grid current, and it's very easy to drive with the 20A. That's why they designed it as grid-driven rather than cathode-driven. It's also, for its time, very advanced. It has SWR trip. It has high current trip, and it also has no tune. It's all bandpass filters. It's an excellent. You see them in action. In fact, this amplifier is in it. The Ham Nation number 81, Bob Heil and George Mayer, W1LSB, the guy I bought this amplifier from, have a presentation segment in that Ham Nation 81 back in January 2013.
I'm back.
Of the history of single sideband as a communications mode.
Okay.
It goes all the way back to 1915 on long distance circuits. All the way as early as that. I wonder what the oscillators were like back in those days to make the signals. But it goes back to 1915, and then Ham started playing around with it in the 30s, and then after the war it really took off. And the Central Electronics is one of the early, very early, probably one of the best engineered and marketed units. They preceded Collins and Hallicrafters. Those guys were a couple years behind the people like Central Electronics and Aldeco and a few others as well. But I really like this radio. It's got because it's got phasing sideband generation rather than filters, is not restricted by the response of the filters, and you can do some very nice audio with it. But in the future, I've got a project. I picked up an amplifier deck from WA1HLR in a trade at last October Headfest. And that is a pair of big-driven E13s, and I'm going to build that up in a big rack to run it in all different modes. AB1, I'm basically going to emulate the design of the at least as far as how they set the operating point. I'm going to run an AB1 like 600L. I'm going to call it the 1200L. I'm running AB1 linear mode with about 1200 watts PEP. Also going to run it high-level Class C plate modulator with a pair of 805, which I have, and I also have a power supply iron and modulation iron to do that. And also, of course, running Class C CW, and it'll be a fun project. The amplifier almost looks like a prototype, you know, a commercial prototype. The quality of construction is beyond anything I've ever seen on a home rule basis. It's really, really nice, including an etched and white paint filled etched front panel, which includes a complete OSCA in the same panel as the amplifier. It's got Jennings vacuum variables. The one for loading is oil-filled vacuum variable, and then it's got a big B&W 2KW pi network, band switched pi-wet network in it. Really, really nice construction. It's a work of art. I have to get in there and start, getting that thing together. First thing I have to do is reverse engineer it to figure out what all, how the thing's hooked to hook it up. So let's see. I see if Perry is back now. W3MMR and the group AJ1G.
Oh, I'm back with 2 fresh pints of cookies and cream milk. Let me make sure I got it. Alright, I don't know if anybody else jumped in while I was gone. I wasn't listening to WebSDR on the way there. I forgot my headphones. I was going to, and then I'm, right around the corner from the house, and I said, damn it, I forgot my headphones. Anyway, it's crowded out there on the roads already. 6 o'clock this morning. I'm usually when I make my Wawa run there in the morning on my days off, I usually go around 5, and there's really nobody on the road. But 6 o'clock, I guess people are starting to head to work there. So got a little busy there at the Wawa and on the way there, so it took a little longer than expected. But I guess I was only gone about 15 minutes or so. But anyway, signals are still holding up, which is good to hear. Chris, you're definitely still holding in there as well. Usually the band starts to take a dip here around this time for the locals, and then it'll come back up once the sun starts to come up there, it's weird. It does that every morning. It's nice and long, or short and long at the same time, good conditions, and then when the sun starts to get close to coming up there, the band will really stretch out, and then it'll shorten up like a rubber band and snap back into shape there. So, yep, got fresh soft pretzels, couple bottles of pints of cookies and cream milk, and a fresh new cup of Joe. So today's gonna be a good day. Feel good this morning too. In a real good mood. My body feels good, not real tired. Got a good night's sleep last night. It was a relatively easy day at work yesterday, so my hands aren't sore, which is nice. And looking forward to a good, productive day off. So, who was I turn? I was going to turn over to you, Kevin. KK4GZQ from W3MMR.
Hey, Perry. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm trying to facilitate here. I've had it enough times. Let me send it down to WB4NKA. Gary, if you'll take it and send it over to Danny over in Alabama, N9KGR. And Danny, if you would send it back to me, I'll go back to Chris, AJ1G. WD4NKA, Deltona, Florida. I tried to put a beach there, Gary, a KK4GZQ. I know there's not a Deltona beach.